This video has My Hero Academia manga spoilers. Even the title is a little So if you click this and you have no idea what the title is about, or you don't want to get spoiled with new My Hero Academia details, click off. Click off, but also subscribe to the new wealth of new content. Enough of that! Before watching this, you should probably watch my Deku Awakens Quirk video. In that video, I formed the basis for how I understand Aries' powers, and I'll probably be referencing a lot of what I said in that video. With that said, Aries is a confusing character for the community. On one side, she's a cute little kid with a tragic backstory, and she's also the goal that our heroes have come to protect. On the other side, she's an easy way for Horikoshi to solve all of the problems in the plot, like people being injured, quirkless, etc, etc. So she poses a problem. I've argued that I hope she doesn't make it out of this arc alive, because even in the hands of the villain organization or something, just knowing that she's out there and can solve any issue takes away tension from the story. Many people commented that I was being super harsh, or commented with great replies as to how she could fit perfectly fine in universe, especially with how Horikoshi writes limitations on his characters. And with the release of chapter 157, I have to say that I can already see Horikoshi putting limits on what Eri can do. But he also takes her quirk a step further this week, and that's what we're here to talk about. In my previous video to explain what Aries' quirk might do to Deku, I broke down how her rewind quirk might work in general, from the different panels that we've seen, as well as the narrator and Chisaki's own words. Eri can touch a person and rewind them to an earlier stage in their life, was my basic understanding of how her quirk worked. But Chisaki's words this week show us that there's an even deeper side to her quirk. So let's get into it. I know we're a few minutes in, but I'm sort of the king of setup, so forgive me. Aries' quirk isn't just to rewind a person to her earlier state in their life. Her quirk is specifically to rewind. Why do I say this? Well, I'm a big JoJo fan, and immediately I sort of made a line between her power and what I'd imagine Crazy Diamond Requiem from a JoJo fans could do if that was a thing. However, it seems that it's even more than that. Quirks in My Hero Academia aren't generally so vague, but Aries' power really does sort of stand out like, well, a stand. Chisaki tells Deku this week, with Aries' quirk, she can rewind humans. Depending on how she uses it, she could probably revert you into a monkey if she tried. So not only can Aries rewind your quirk to before it manifested, not only can she rewind your body to before you were born, but Eri can possibly rewind you into a different member of your evolutionary line. Alright, that has pretty severe implications. All this time, I was thinking that Eri's quirk would attack your quirk factor to rewind it to before the quirk factor manifested. I was also thinking that Eri would rewind your physical body back to before you were a protein or, sperm. But no, it isn't as complicated as any of that apparently. Eri is rewinding your DNA itself. Think about it. She rewinds your DNA to make you younger, which, to be fair, has some scientific precedent, as scientists are doing something very similar right now with mice at the moment, and this is a manga, so sometimes stuff just kind of has to work. But she can also rewind your DNA to the same DNA that people had before quirks were even a thing. I'm making an assumption here, but I'm gonna assume that people with quirks are the next stage in evolution above normal people. That's not being like evil villain kind of thing, like it's not some big grandiose thing. I just think that their body has had a change no matter how it happened or what it is, and they've moved up from regular people with no powers. Well, if that's the case, then Eri basically devolves you from a quirk human to a base human. Why do I think this is the case? Because as Chisaki, who has studied Eri's quirk and knows the ins and outs of how it works, says, she could probably turn you into a monkey. Well, that implies that she can rewind your DNA to the point where your DNA becomes that of a monkey without actually changing your physical age. With proper mastery of her quirk, she could focus on an aspect of your DNA and rewind it, changing you completely. Here's why I hope that this is true, as savage as this is going to sound. Because if her power is to rewind DNA, and her power was used in the bullet that was used on Mirio, which in essence devolved him or de-evolved him, then I don't think there's any way for her to just simply rewind Mirio's quirk DNA to the point where he has his quirk back. He's already de-evolved from a quirk human to a normal human. Rewinding him back would be fast forwarding, and I don't think that's something that she can do. That does bring up the topic of what it would be like if there was an opposite to Aries' quirk. A fast forwarding ability that works like hers does, fast forwarding DNA. Maybe there's a kid out there with a horn on the other side of his head. Maybe like, I don't know, he's like Aries' brother. You know what? that is a video for another time. So, for now, thank you guys for watching.